Yo, if you guys just give me a thumbs up or something, so I know that you guys could hear me, so I don't waste like 40 minutes talking. That'd be nice. And Kenya, I saw you were here first. I don't know how you always do it, but you're always the first one. Okay, I got a thumbs up. Good, good. Let me get my little document. I'm trying to do a co-host now, so I don't know exactly how this works, so it's new. Um, let's see, 1 o'clock. Look, just to give you a heads up, I don't think this call is going to be an hour long, maybe like half an hour or something, because we have another call taking place too. Anyways, let me just get through the shit. So let's just start off with the boring stuff, the radio stats of the network. I took these stats from yesterday, May 22nd. So CBRS radios, we have about 8,228 online. We lost 58 radios over the past week. And for the Wi-Fi units, we have 10,789. We gained about 193 over the past week. So, I mean, pretty good numbers, Wi-Fi going up. And for the ROI estimates, I'm using the token price of 0.002, which I took from yesterday. These numbers are from yesterday. So again, these are like unboosted rewards. So let's see. The indoor Wi-Fi's are doing about 786 mobile tokens per day. That is Swift Myrtle Eel that I'm using as the benchmark. This hotspot has a full like 1x boosted multiplier, so just normal rewards. And it's doing about $1.57 per day. So the estimated ROI on like a $249 unit is about 158 days. So it also lost 88 mobile tokens over the past week. So it dropped from, actually, I read the wrong number. It actually got 698 tokens this week. Last week it had 786, but whatever. It went down 88 tokens over the past week just because, more units are coming online. It's just how proof of coverage works. So, so the outdoor Wi-Fi is doing about 1,491 mobile tokens per day. That's Strong Sign Fox as the benchmark, so everyone could check that. And the boosted multiplier is 1x, so normal install in high urban. It's in urban and it's in high footfall, so it's a good install. So it's doing about $2.98 per day. Estimated ROI is about 167 days on the $500 unit. It lost about 167 mobile tokens over the past week. Like I said, it's part of proof of coverage, more radios. Indoor CBRS is doing about 436 mobile tokens a day. This is Feisty Slate Opsum. I don't even know. I can't pronounce it. But whatever. Boosted multiplier of 1x, it's doing about 87 cents a day. So estimated ROI, my God, it's pretty bad. 1,422 days. So that's really a long time. It lost about 55 mobile tokens over the past week also. And for the 430, it's doing about 296 mobile tokens a day. But hold on, this is Real Blue Gorilla. It's got a boosted multiplier of 0.49. So if you adjust it, so it's like 1x, so it's all fair. It's about 446 mobile tokens per day. It's about 89 cents a day. Estimated ROI is even worse. It's 1,503 days. That's very, very long time. So, and I'm using the bundle price of $1,338. So that's what you could probably find these for new. I'm not using like eBay prices. I wouldn't recommend buying these like used Freedom Fives off eBay in case they don't transfer the NFTs. So it also lost about 56 adjusted points mobile tokens over the past week when I adjust the loss. So yeah, that's like the network stats. Now I'm just gonna go through some of the important Helium hips, and then I'll go through the rest of the like non-Helium stuff. So to start off, I guess with Helium is the mobile working group winners were announced. So Making Bank won in first place with 38% of the votes. Keith won second place with 25%. Max, you guys might know him as Max Gold. He won third place with 14%. In Jenkins in fourth with 9%. And Atlas Dragon also got elected. He had 9%. So The two people that were on the call last week both got elected into the group. So I know Atlas is in the audience putting some hearts up. So that's nice. He got in. So it's really good. I like that. Yeah, so they're probably going to be a warm welcome in the working group call at like 2 p.m. So they'll probably have some introduction, I would imagine. So let's get over to some of these important hips. Okay, so we only have like 4 hips that are really what I consider important right now for mobile. There's hip 118. I'm going to link the GitHub so you guys could read the document, but I'm just going to skim through it anyway. So let me just paste this, because last week I had way too many hips to read and I don't want to do that again. So I'm also saying who is writing these hips now. So this hip is written by Boris and JPad, and just for context, they're both Nova employees, just so people know who's writing what and what's going on. So this hip is going to introduce a new way to validate locations of Wi-Fi and CBRS hotspots using people who are subscribers of the Helium mobile phone plan. The motivation of this is because there's great incentive, to game locations of hotspots right now. People are claiming all the boosted rewards. People know how to game Skyhook. GPS also, they're both spoofable. Like there's problems. So what's going to change is people who are deploying hotspots will be unable to collect boosted rewards unless their location has been verified by a verification mapper. The service providers are the ones who are going to designate verification mappers. They're going to need to do that. Subscribers who are signing up for verification mapper will be able to earn extra mapping rewards / verification rewards. Subscribers who don't sign up, though, for this or fail to meet the criteria are going to receive reduced mapping rewards. And there's 2 ways to become a verification mapper, because I know it's like a new term. The first way is manual designation. This is where the service provider is going to pick someone. They're going to be their dedicated verification mapper. And what this person's going to do is where there's not lots of Helium mobile subscribers, this person's going to go on site technically and try and connect to those hotspots. So let's say there's a boost in Miami and for some reason there's no subscribers around it. Whoever they pick to be their mapper will just go on site, try and connect with their phone or maybe special other equipment. And, if they can't connect to the hotspot, there's a good chance that hotspot's not there, right? If they can't connect to it, good. So these people don't earn any type of mobile rewards, though, the ones from the service provider. So the second way, which is going to apply to almost everyone, is the scalable approach, because the other way is not scalable at all. You can't just designate people like this. So this way is going to use the existing discovery mappers. So everyone who has a Helium mobile phone plan and stuff, you turned on that discovery mapper and setting, you're going to automatically be upgraded to a verification mapper if you meet some requirements. The requirements aren't even that bad. So you would also earn additional mobile rewards for doing the work. So you'd probably want to be a verification mapper. There's no downside to it. So to get automatically upgraded to a verification mapper, you currently need to be a discovery mapper, which I assume most of you are already. And you have to have received discovery rewards for the last 4 to 7 days, which, again, I assume most of you have. And there is one technical thing, but this is something that happens in the back end. I wouldn't worry about it. You're going to need a GPS event stream shared with the network by the discovery mapper phone, whatever. You're going to have to share some data, like some GPS stream. I don't want to go into the technical detail about it because I don't think it's the place to talk about it. But service providers like Helium Mobile can track where the cell towers your phone connects to using the CDRs, the call data records. And this helps estimate where you are in the real world. And if you compare this data with your phone GPS over the past 7 days, they could check if the GPS has kind of been tampered with. So they're going to be using the CDR data to perform these verifications. And just to let people know, the CDR data, this is back-end data from T-Mobile. It's not, it's extremely difficult to spoof, if not impossible. I guess you'd have to set up fake T-Mobile towers or something. I'm sure it's illegal as hell. So I don't think we're going to see a problem right away. I don't know, though, sometimes people get creative, but whatever. This is supposed to be very, very hard to spoof, unlike Skyhook, which is just a joke. So, I mean, they're going to start using that. And if no, there's going to be some changes to do your rewards on your hotspots too, unfortunately. And fortunately, I guess. So if no verification mappers pass by your radios and perform a verification every 7 days, your maximum reward multiplier for your radio is going to be set at a 0.5x. So you're going to lose 50% of your rewards if there's not verification mappers running around your hotspot at least once a week. So if you want to receive the full rewards and still be eligible for boosted rewards, you need to have a verification mapper at least walk by your stuff at least once per week. People who have radios in locations where there are no subscribers, you're probably going to see a reduction in rewards. If we follow the 0.5x that they're talking about, I would assume it's a 50% reduction. And I have to assume that this is going to be a bunch of residential installs where, people put them at their house and they're not even subscribers to the Helium mobile phone plan. So I think all you guys are going to get screwed. No nice way to put it. But that's HIP 118. I know it sounds a little mean, but we really need to fix this Skyhook problem and people gaming the boosted hexes. And this way is the programmatic kind of way to deal with this problem. So it's probably the right way to go about things, using CDR records so they can't spoof them. It might take some time to implement this. And why I'm saying this is because there's other HIPs that want to put temporary measures while if this HIP was to pass, it's going to take a while to implement all this. So there's quicker HIPs that want to address all these gaming concerns that are going on. So I'm going to go over HIP 122. This is a men's service provider hex boosting. This is a really easy HIP for me to explain because they've changed how it works. So this is a HIP written by a community member called Fizzy. I'm sure you guys seen him if you're in Discord. So this HIP, like I said, very simple. It aims to do 3 things. The first thing is to create a dedicated bucket for service provider hex boosting. So the boosted rewards will only come out of this bucket. The new bucket would be 10% of the current POC bucket. So the current bucket we have right now, we would dedicate 10% of the rewards just for the hex boosting rewards. And yeah, let me just explain the rest first before I get into that. It would also reduce the minimum boost time to 3 months instead of 6 months. And it would limit future boosting to 10x instead of, I think it's uncapped right now, but the highest we've seen is 100x. So you might be a little alarmed, like, oh, we're going to try and take 10% of your current POC rewards, like your bucket. But it's kind of a good thing because if it prevents this weird scenario where if the service provider goes nuts and decides to boost like crazy all over the place, all the boosted rewards currently come out of the POC bucket. So they could essentially like drain all those POC rewards from the whole network and the people just in the boosted hexes could get that. That's not the only problem. That is one problem. Unlikely to happen, but it is there. So that 10% bucket would stop that from happening. But another upside is that everyone in the non-boosted hexes should see, in theory, a small rewards boost. And the ones who are in, this is a downside, the ones who are in boosted hexes are probably going to see a reduction in rewards, like their boosted rewards. So the reason why your rewards would go up if you're in a non-boosted is because the boosted hexes are taking more than 10% out of our POC bucket already. So if we cap it at 10%, they just can't yoink it from us anymore. So controversial HIP, yes. I kind of like it myself. Just sharing my thoughts on it. I think it was kind of good. There are several HIPs that are trying to address hex boost and stuff. So yeah, it's on a lot of people's mind, hex boost and stuff. So yeah. I'm going to go on to HIP 125, which again, it's another HIP about hex boosted. So temporary anti-gaming measure for hex boosted or for boosted hexes. So this is also, I'm just going to link this in chat. this is a HIP written by community members. They're actually on the mobile working group. It's JM and J Hella. No Nova staff here. So this HIP would basically invalidate boosted hex rewards for hotspots that are caught in malicious activity. So pretty much if you're cheating, your boosted rewards are going to be invalidated, so you can't get them. So the service provider has identified hotspots that are gaming to get the boosted hexes, but the problem is there's no way to stop them. There's no system in place for them to turn them off. So we're just watching them all siphon away the rewards from everyone, which is pretty shit. So we have other HIPs like 118, which I just read before. But the problem is that one's going to take several months probably to even reach consensus, if it even passes, and then it needs to be implemented. So this would give a temporary tool to the service provider to prevent gaming of the boosted hexes. And just before I continue, if you're not in a boosted hex, this still applies to you because all these rewards are being pulled away from you. So like, there's a lot of people cheating these hexes, and those rewards could be going to you. So like, it does affect you even if you're not in these hexes. So here's how it would work. So the service provider can invalidate boosted rewards if they have reasonable evidence that the hexes they are boosting are being taken advantage of by malicious actors. A service provider can only invalidate boosted rewards for their own, their own service provider. Like if they burn the mobile tokens, they could only invalidate theirs. Not like if another service provider joins, they can't like invalidate other service providers' boosted hexes, which is obviously good common sense that they wouldn't be able to do that. And if you had your boost disabled, you would still be able to earn the POC and data transfers rewards. Like your hotspots aren't banned in any way or form. It's just they're ineligible for the boosted rewards. There is a little clause. So if you get, if you accidentally get mistaken as like someone who's cheated, there is like a little protection thing in here I'm going to read. So it says, for hotspot operators that feel they have mistakenly been identified as malicious, the service provider shall provide an email address or some sort of communication for network operators, so like us, to be able to request a physical verification of coverage at a given location. So we would, like, let's say my hotspot got banned, I'd be able to be like, hey, can you send someone out to go look at it? And they'll send someone to physically go look at it, like, or physically go verify that it's there. And what I mean by that is like try to connect to it with their phone or special equipment. And yeah, so you could request that. One concern I do have about this though, there's no like time limit to it. I did bring this up in the HIP channel. So like, yeah, if I request someone to go verify my hotspot's actually there, like, are they going to do it in a week, in a month, in a year? Like, there's no specified time. So I do think that's a little problem, but I think it might be addressed today in the working group. So, and just something else to mention about this HIP, it's a temporary measure. So it would expire after 182 days, but it might be, like, it may be extended if there's no other HIPs in place to combat this gaming problem. And if, you know, the community votes to extend it. And as always, they always throw in these little things at the bottom of HIPs. If the service provider is caught abusing power, blah, 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 we could slash their stake tokens. I mean, I see it all the time, this little quote. So yeah, so if they're being bad, we could take their tokens, of course, with a vote. And the last HIP of the day, and then I'll go into some non-Helium stuff, is honestly, this is a HIP that I really like, just to let you guys know I'm biased on this one. So this HIP is flexible data pricing for mobile network. This HIP is written by Boris, just so everyone knows he is part of Nova. So just keep that in mind. So this HIP is outlining a new pricing model for the Helium mobile network. And the motivation behind this HIP is, what's it called? The data price on the network is currently set at 50 cents a gig, but there's growing interest of other like mobile network operators that want to use the Helium mobile network. And we need to adapt to, you know, changes in price. We can't just keep it at 50 cents a gig. So other companies will want to use the network. So basically what it would do is it would let hotspot owners set their data price from free to $1 a gigabyte using some slider control in the dashboard somewhere. Hotspot Vendors may also implement an option that will display optimal pricing for your hotspot at its specific location, because let me just read some names in chat. So if Andy has a hotspot in Chicago or something, and then Kenny has one in Florida, the prices might be different. It might be 20 cents in Florida, it might be like 40 cents in Chicago. I don't know the price. But anyways, there's going to be some way that they could show you what the like recommended price is. You should set it to. So you'll have some idea. You're not just left in the dark to guess what price to set it at. There is also something mentioning that these prices are not known by anyone but you. So I don't know why that is in there, but whatever. I guess it's secret, the prices. So I'm going to ask about that in the working group because I honestly don't know. There's also some other things in here that says a service provider can specify the price they're willing to pay in a Res 12 hex. They could blacklist hexes. They could set the price to 0 or any price above 0. Hexes that are blacklisted, that means that service providers' subscribers will not be able to connect to the mobile hotspots though in the hex. So regardless of price. So if you're in a blacklisted hex, no one's going to be able to transfer data from that service provider. So that sucks. And I did ask Boris why, like what's the reasoning behind blacklisted hexes. And I did mention this last time too, but he says because in many locations, carriers don't ever want subscribers to connect to Wi-Fi because they have already too much cellular capacity there. So, it kind of makes sense. I am extremely concerned though. I'm just going to say this now because I did voice it in the channel. If we go deploying Times Square, let's say, and we're costing T-Mobile a lot of money, I'm very scared that T-Mobile might be like, oh, fuck this, and just put their own radios in Times Square, and then we'll blacklist the hex, and then everyone who deployed there might get a little screwed. Will this happen in the real world? I have no idea, but it is something that I am a little afraid of happening. So anyways, if the price you set is higher than the bid price that the service provider wants to pay for that location, you're basically, no one's going to be able to connect to your pass point anymore. So if your price is set, if you're thinking you're going to set it to $1 to just juice all the rewards and make tons of money, no, there's already stuff in here to stop that from happening. So you can't just set it high as hell and expect everything to work. If anything, you want to set it lower so you will be eligible to pass the data and get rewarded for it. Yeah, so there is some little other things though that are going to change. On top of this rule, hotspots are going to compete to attract the maximum number of unique connections from a service provider. So this is kind of where I think the hotspot utility score is kind of being born in this HIP. It's going to be based off of the percentage of unique connections and the volume of data that the customers are passing. So like if there's 10 hotspots in one area, let's say the same hex, let's pretend they're all indoor hotspots. The one who is passing the most amount of data and got the most connections. So, and by connections, I mean like people with their cell phones, it will connect to that specific hotspot the most. That hotspot would, in theory, get the full 1x POC rewards. And then the hotspot that's got like the second most amount of connections and past data would get like a 0.9x rewards multiplier. And it would just go all the way down to 0 at some point. So this is like super important because this is like super crystal clear to me that if you are deploying stuff in areas where there is no potential data transfer, you might be in for a rude awakening at some point. So I know it's not exactly set in stone in this HIP, but like if you actually read this HIP, you could realize like the vision that they have. At least I assume what they're going to do. So yeah. There's also another note though at the bottom of this HIP that they might make a HIP in the future to where this utility score is going to be adjusting your POC reward calculations. So this is why I'm saying like they're mentioning that they might make another HIP in the future to change how POC kind of works with data transfer. So if you're not deploying with thinking about data transfer, you should really reconsider just in case something passes in the future and changes how we think. So Okay, whatever. That is hip 126. I think it's a good hip, honestly. But I do feel bad if you guys aren't going to be passing data. So, okay, and let me just go through. We got some random other stuff that happened. This is not really helium related. I just have like 2 or 3 of these. Actually, we'll talk about the demo thing first. So, we have an AMA with Demo and like our founders at 2 p.m. today. And I know you guys are like, what the fuck, 2 p.m.? That's the mobile working group call time. I know. Um, yeah, but I mean, sometimes you can't just have everything. I'm going to personally be in the mobile working group call, but some of our team is going to be with Demo doing the Demo call at 2 p.m. So it's going to be an AMA. You can ask them questions about everything. You can ask them questions about like the rewards and all sorts of stuff. So if you are not up to date on the Demo mapping contest that's using the Helium IoT hotspots, I would definitely check it out. I did post a link in the chat right here, so everyone could like book it if you want to join it. You could listen to X and be on Discord at the same time. Um, yeah, so that's going on today. That's why my calls can't be too long. There is something about Wi-Fi DABA launching on mainnet in July 2024. So you could buy DABA lights right now. Previously they've been sold out for a while. Just so you guys go out before you guys go and buy anything. This unit is not something that's going to be like shipped to you. It's going to be installed in India, and you're just going to be able to pick like out of a list of locations. Hold on, got someone who wants to come up. Yeah, out of a list of locations, you'll be able to pick like the hotspot you want. So I have a DABA light I bought like last year, and I put it near the airport. Like they had a location near airport, and I took that one. So I didn't invite you, Making Bank. So if you got something to say or add, no, maybe. Anyways,
Yeah, can you
oh
hear me?
yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Little
Oh,
choppy. I
hello?
think you're in the car. I would imagine. Okay, well, while you figure that out, I'm just going to go on to the Weather XM news. So,
Can you hear me now?
yeah, yeah, I hear you. Okay, well, look, I'm not going to play musical chairs here.
All
Let
right,
me
sweet. You can
just
hear
say
me
the
now.
weather.
All right.
Yeah,
All
yes,
right.
I hear you. I
You
hear
can
you.
hear me now. Musical chairs. Tag on there.
Yeah.
Man, what's up, JD? That's a great
Yes.
day.
Okay.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Man, let me tell you something. You know, I've been so knee deep, toe deep, whatever you want to say, in Helium Mobile that I haven't really been paying attention to Wi-Fi DABA too much. Also because I know that they had some stuff to work out, and it was just, hey, just be patient, wait and see. And I logged into their Explorer yesterday, and man, honestly, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. They haven't been one of those projects that's been out here talking and making grandioso promises and you know, talking about what they're going to do, but they've actually have been, at least from what I can see thus far, right? Add that little disclaimer. They've actually seemed like they have been working and doing less talking. I mean, their Explorer is beautiful, and let me just give credit to JD. JD actually was one of the first ones that spoke about the DABA network, and he was like, "Hey, look, I'm not sure about this thing. It could be bullshit. It could be really good, but I'm just letting you guys know about it." I jumped on there. A few other people jumped on there, and um, the Explorer is beautiful. You could check out your Genesis tokens. It's awesome. They've built an ecosystem around the DBT token, their native token, where it's not an option of whether you're going to use it or not. You have to use it if you want to utilize that ecosystem, making the utility of it, even more so secure, so to speak. Whereas one of the things with Helium Mobile right now, love the network. I'm building on it in a huge way. But one of the things with it right now is that, guess what? You don't have to use that token if you don't want to. So there's nothing stopping hotspot deployers from getting the tokens and just cashing it out on a regular basis, becoming like a washing machine. Whereas one of the things I like that with the Daba network right now on the Wi-Fi side of things is you have to utilize that token. So Genesis going good. I also like the fact that one of the issues that I don't want to do, it's not a comparison thing. But one of the beautiful things about blockchain and crypto is that it's open source. So we're able to see how other projects are doing things and work in harmony, not in competition with one another, in a way that we can make each other better. And I also see that they've included a way to decline UB. They call it UBI. They call it straight up for what it is. Whereas we're calling it POC, right? Universal Basic Income or Proof of Coverage. They have a way where in the first year, the hotspot owners, their rewards will be based upon 90% UBI, 10% performance. In the following year, it's going to be 80% UBI, 20% performance. So I think that's great. That also is kind of like how you were just speaking about that HIP that wants to introduce a metrics where it rewards different hotspots based upon their performance. Heck yeah, if you're choosing a great location that's offloading a lot of data, you should be rewarded as such. So just want to throw that about Wi-Fi data. The Explorer, man, really got me. I'm not gonna lie. It's clean. Their white paper or roadmap, so to speak, is really well put together. Even their token distribution, the initial investors and the foundation, there's a lock on their token, so they can't just receive it and totally just dump it on the rest of the market. So a lot of things seem to be going on there. I'm going to consensus next week. Can't reach out to the team. I definitely will bring back some more information to you guys about it.
Yeah, Dabas are doing some really good things. Um, Not to put them on the shiniest pedestal in the world, though, but I do like what they're doing. They're not very active in their Discord, but when they do post updates, they're like really cool, important updates. They're not promising stuff. They literally just do it, then they tell us they've done it. So it's really refreshing to see a project work like that. And something that I really do like about the Daba Explorer, honestly, if anyone used our Moken hosted radio kind of platform, not to shit on our platform too much, but like it's such an upgraded version of what we have built. So like something I really like about the Daba Explorer is you could see videos of I think his name is Don from the Daba team. He personally goes into like every single building and shows where all the radios are, so you can know which ones you're buying. And I find that such like attention to detail, like it's so unnecessary, but like it adds to the legitimacy of the project, and I really like it. So I really have nothing bad to say about Wi-Fi Dab. I really had a good time, yeah, with them. So, and anyways, their hotspots are for sale again. So if anybody wants them, I think they're $200. Like I said, it's a hosted unit. You get to use that fancy Explorer that Making Bank was talking about, and you can like pick where you want your units out of a list of already existing ones. So like I said, I put one at the airport because my thought process was, oh, there'd be lots of data transfer at the airport. So yeah.
Yeah, the one you chose at the airport is great, man. The season one folks, because we're part of season one, we're going to be kind of grandfathered in with certain fees. Season two, which is available now, you have the ability to continue to earn Genesis rewards. All right, so I definitely would jump on those Genesis rewards. Genesis rewards up until June 30th. So the sooner you jump in there, the better. They do daily epoch. Each epoch is 24 hours, 24 heartbeats, right? Um, One of the cool things, JD, is because we were in a Genesis, we're going to actually be grandfathered in when it comes to certain fees. So currently, Genesis season 2 is $199 for that hotspot. But guess what? In order to add more utility towards that DBT token and ensure the health of the ecosystem, it's truly $299 for the hotspot. Once it goes live, it's an additional $100 that you spend, right? $10 in order to acquire the NFT, which goes to your wallet. $10 USD bought in an equivalent amount of DBT, so you can acquire the NFT, which goes into your wallet to receive the awards. I believe it was $70 in USD bought in DBT that goes to the LCO that deploys the hotspot. And then the remaining $20 is divided between I don't remember off the top of my head, but essentially what it's doing is ensuring that that flywheel that flywheel in the ecosystem continues moving. So,
Yeah,
I thought
it's
that was
nice
pretty
to
cool.
see that you have to use the token to like get the NFT, the LCO. I don't even know what LCO stands for, but it sounds like the people deploying the hotspots. But yeah, it seems like they
Yeah,
really
exactly.
got the flywheel going, and I'm really happy they got it going because I really like that project. So it's good news that they're doing
Yeah,
well.
and they're
So
gonna be launching. They're gonna be launching on Solana as well. So
oh
that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
that's yeah, like a cherry on top for everyone in here. I'm sure we're all Solana fans. So if that wasn't good news enough, there is even better news too. Not better, but still good news. WeatherXM is finally launching their token on May 30th. Like, oh my God, it's been such a long time that this has been coming. So it's going to be launching on the Arbitrum mainnet. And when it's on the mainnet, look, I was going to post the guide how to like claim your tokens and stuff in the chat. I'm not going to say these over the call just because it's too much technical mumbo jumbo to explain. But I put two links in the chat. One of them is how to join the mainnet and get your and see your tokens, and the other one's how to claim your tokens. So yeah, so basically, this token is going to be listed on Gate, on MEXC, on Bitmark, and Swissborg. I guess. Well, the first three are going to be listed on May 30th, and Swissborg later on. So I don't know exactly know when the date is, and you'll be able to trade these tokens on Uniswap. So I mean, a lot of people use Uniswap. They also raised 7.7 million dollars in a Series A led by Lightning faction, and that also includes people from like Borderless Capital and other stuff. There's a big long press release about it. To become the world's largest my God, I butchered that one. To become the world's largest weather network in the world. And something I do want to mention though about this, not to sound like a sellout, it's going to be sellouty though. Look, the ROI is unknown at the moment on these units. Nobody knows how much that token's worth. I don't know how much it's worth. No one knows. Um, I just want to mention that we do have these in stock ready to ship, but I don't know if we're going to have them in stock once May 30th hits because the second people know that ROI, um, like I don't know what's going to happen. If the ROI is really good, those products might be sold out and hard to find. So I'm just saying, if anyone's thinking about buying one, not knowing the ROI right now, we do have them ready to ship. So, I hate to do little sellout bits like that, but it's something to keep in mind because if that ROI is good, you might not be able to get those units quick. So, yeah, there's that. That was pretty cool. So, whether XM's launching, and I think that was pretty much all that I had for this call. I wanted to keep it kind of short just because, we have other calls happening and yeah, Megan Bank, you got elected to the working group. So are you happy? Like you'll be on the calls finally? How's that feel? Putting you on the spot.
No problem. I'm used to it. No, it feels cool. That's hopefully they go in there, give some fresh perspective and ideas, and some fresh perspectives and ideas, and help to the formation of the network going
Look,
forward.
yeah, that's good. I invited like three other people because this kind of like the end of the call where I think we're just gonna just chit chat about random stuff. So let's see what you guys got or you got concerns
JD,
about.
JD, just real quickly, I came in late. Were you just talking about Moken having Weather XM units available for sale?
Yeah, they're on our Helium deploy website. We have them in stock ready to ship. What I was trying to warn people is like they're in stock right now because nobody knows the ROI, right? Obviously, people still buy them, but if the ROI is really good, who knows how long until they're sold out, right? Like we might be able to stock the
Gotcha.
next day. So if you are
Thanks.
considering, we do have them.
I wanted to, JD, can you hear me?
Yes. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something. I didn't get into Wi-Fi Daba
I know. I
because
remember you thought it was a scam.
not a scam. I've had my own family members do things with money that weren't right, my own blood, and a cousin and another cousin, and like after that, if I can't physically own a device, and have it in my hands, I'm just, hey, it could be the next $1 billion idea. India is a great place to be launching 5G, but like, if you can't actually see that device yourself and put your hands on it, um, like, what would people do if they just said, no, you don't own that, it's ours, see ya. Like there isn't a whole lot you could do.
Look, I'm not too
You
concerned
could
about it.
you can't physically see the device. I mean, if you actually look at it, honestly, it's essentially the same concept that Moken had, but they kind of just redid it
Yeah.
in a sense, and it's a different platform where they are able to use different
Let me,
pricing structures,
let
right?
me just
So
rephrase that quick. It would basically be like when Helium set up the hosting situation, right? People find someone to host their uh, radio, but like there's been cases people don't send them back. They go offline. I mean, it's a difficult
Dude,
situation if
I
there's a
I
problem.
think DABA is more safe because it's like a big corporation doing it. It's not just random Joes left and right. It's actually just one big company doing all the hosting. I'm
Yes.
actually I feel better with DABA because I think they've learned. I don't know if they took our hosted model kind of for inspiration or not, but I do like how they've done everything and the videos they provided
yeah,
the units.
it's essentially like if Helium Mobile went ahead and said, "Hey, you know what? To solve all of this gaming issues and to solve all the the BS that's going on in the network, let's just go ahead and contract out reliable deployers on the network, like Moken, for example, or like decentralized, like such and such, because we know they're going to put the stuff up in reliable locations, and then individuals can purchase hotspot locations from them."
Oh, I totally get that. I mean, that kind of goes against what Helium has done with the IoT network. If you look at as the first learning step, that people would buy these miners, they would always be gaming, and slowly but surely they'd put a stop to it. It always takes some time, but they eventually figure out a way to stop it. It's a shame that it goes on, but it seems like gaming is eventually dealt with completely or almost completely. Is there always a little bit popping up? Sure. Anytime you own a bunch of banks, you're going to possibly have a robbery. It's just how it is when you're around money. Another thing I wanted to talk about, JD, if you have a minute, because I know you want to wrap up, is I was on the Peak call today and was kind of in the middle on the Peak blockchain. Looks rather interesting. I know Macon Bank has a lot of knowledge about it. I think it'll be interesting to see if more cryptos go over to the Peak blockchain. Um, I, for one, if I was making a new crypto, I'd probably go to Solana if I had a great idea. I probably would be hesitant to try, even though it sounds perfect for DePIN. Uh, I'd probably go with where it's been proven. But Peak is a nice idea, and I hope it's successful. And hey, JD, because of you, I might be picking up a Weather XM this weekend.
Yeah, I think I hear it raining in the background. It could record all that rain for other people. So, um,
Yeah, you hear it raining? Yeah, I'm in Boston. Just started raining.
and
Yep.
I was just gonna mention some. Oh yeah, the Peak network. The only like my red flag of Peak. Well, honestly, anytime I see blockchain like projects making new L1s, I literally just glance over them like, oh boy, here's another one. So that's my only concern. I'm like, do we need another one? I don't know. Um, yeah, I like Solana. It's kind of doing everything we need right now. So I don't know. I haven't looked too much into Peak other than I saw it's like L1. I'm like, okay.
I think we need more legit projects, not more L1s. I'm in agreement there,
Well,
right?
look, I think today we had some good stuff like WeatherXM doing their $7.7 million in funding by Series A and stuff. Like this is good. This is good news for DePIN, all this stuff. Even if you're not invested with WeatherXM or Wi-Fi DABA, this is really good news for the network. I also did hear something kind of weird though that I'm not exactly sure what happened. I guess I'm going to mention it here though. It wasn't supposed to be a topic, but um, I think XNet kind of goofed on their like offloaded deal or something, right? Does anyone know any details about this? Because I think they lost it or something, and then they got another one, and now they're asking people to not talk about who the provider name that pops up in the SSID is. So like, I don't know what the hell they did over there, but it seems a little chaotic. So
Oh, that's what's going on. Because I saw the stuff pop up about. They put out an announcement yesterday saying They
to
have
not
a
talk about their providers and
or that
stuff.
they have a direct deal with the MNO. We're going to get direct offloading as if we were earning anyway. I'll just say this, again, when it comes to DePIN, I've been in DePIN now probably about a year, but DeFi and crypto about 7 years. And after I saw it again, not again, anything is possible, right? I'm not touting Wi-Fi dab or anything like that, but I was really impressed by the Explorer, even for them to be such a infant when it comes to their decentralized project. So like when I hear projects like XNet and stuff like that keep on, I deployed an XNet unit maybe about 3 weeks now, right? I have to wait about 30 days before it pops up on an Explorer for me to see if it's actually passing data and stuff. I'm not beating them down. I know it takes time to do stuff, but it's just not. It's not looking good. It's not looking
Well,
good.
when you got like, honestly, I like to use Daba as my gold star. I really like how they do things. They just do it and then they announce it once it's already done, right? Like, yeah, I don't know what's going on next. Someone brought it up yesterday with me, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that they lost their partnership or something, because someone was saying they weren't paying data for like the past 10 days or something. And I'm bringing it up here because at one point I was talking about, oh, these units look attractive, but there's just been so much shit going on with that project. And I'm like, man, these don't look attractive right now to me. So, you know, whatever.
Something
JD,
that
real quick
was
question.
something that was interesting yesterday. I did pass by one of the locations that I have the XNet outside on top of the roof in an outdoor enclosure, and I have the Helium mobile hotspots. And I have two Helium mobile hotspots there, and the one next XNet XP Pro, and the XNet was coming in with a stronger signal for connectivity than the Helium mobile hotspot. That could either be just the device itself, or I know they were doing some testing yesterday as well too, with the connectivity handoffs for the Helium mobile hotspots. But just for
Yeah.
observation purposes, sharing.
Yeah. I saw Amir post in Discord that they were like uh, a quarter mile or something. I don't know how the hell you get Wi-Fi going far like that, but whatever. Um, I saw they were playing with like the 20 and 40 megahertz bands and whatever. I didn't look too much into it. I did see the message that they were getting some like cool range on it, so it's pretty cool. And it was sustaining like 170 down, I think, at a pretty far distance. I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. It goes that far, but yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, look, unless you guys got something to talk about, I think we're just going to call it, because we do have our demo meeting. And like I said, normally I redirect people to the mobile working group call. But look, I say we should go to the mobile working group call because Making Bank, there's new members. There's Atlas and Making Bank, a whole new group of people now.
Congrats,
And something about the mobile working group call, I normally just repeat it on next week's call. So I don't know. If you guys want to hear about the demo mapping contest going on, join our other call. And if you want to hear about the working group stuff, join the working group call. So
Are both calls going to be recorded, JD?
I assume both are. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I can't be in two places at once. So I'm going to personally be at the mobile working group call, and some of our staff are going to be at the demo call, handling all the demo questions. So, yeah. Anyways, I think I'm just going to call that it. Unless you guys got something else to say, I'm going to end it.
Thanks, JD.
Thanks. Great job. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say thank you guys for attending, and I will see you guys, well, in the mobile working group call. And if not there, I'll see you on next Thursday. So have a good one, guys.